management. Eu sunt Robert, colegul meu Marian. Vom arăta un pic din portofoliul de soluții al CANON, care este focusat sau directat către partea de management al documentelor după ce sunt, hai să le spunem, transformate din copii hard, de pe hârtie, în documente digitale. Asta nu înseamnă că nu putem să lucrăm și cu documente care sunt deja în format digital. Prezentarea va fi în limba engleză, colegul meu se ocupă de zona Europa CE. Este expert pe soluțiile noastre de document management. Marian, can you start?
Yes, thank you, Robert. Let me introduce myself. My name is Marian Bajic. I'm CANON Solution Business Consultant for CANON CE region for information management. That's my specialty. Since this is supposed to be a work session, I will first begin with very short presentation, just to have a quick overview of the products, CANON products, which we are using to implement our solution on the field. So, really quickly, let's start this one. So, where to begin with from process perspective with digitization methods? We actually in the field realized that you can begin everywhere, from the beginning, on the process start. Early digitization, when you have, let's say, digital menu, you can have a digitization process somewhere in the middle of the business process, like ad hoc collaboration and scanning documents to some project files, and you can have it on the end. Late digitization, when you have to move all the data documents to digital archive. It's all depending on what customer and project need. So CANON have solutions for each of these steps, and we can configure our project in every direction we need to implement what is needed. So CANON is owner of Iris, Capture on Touch, Iris Power Scan to X, Iris Extract, Uniflow, and of course therefore, which is CANON document management solution. What is really important from our experience is that for every project there is a need to choose your solutions solutions according to customer needs, because if you choose wrong solution, you will have problems later. So we have, if we compare, we can digitize documents transactionally, small documents, amounts and volumes, and we have professional scanning enterprises which will have high volume of scanning. And we also have products that are very easy to install and implement, just on one workstation, let's say, and we have product and solution which needs professional services after they are implemented. So if you saw products in this chart, Scan to X would be for transactional ad hoc scanning, Uniflow would be for small volume of scanning, but on a bigger organization. Iris Power Scan goes to high volume scanning, and it's easy to install. And most advanced digitization tool on CANON is Iris Extract, which needs professional services and is especially good for high volume digitization and recognition and extraction, automatization of extracting data from documents. So, from the customer's point of view and from marketing point of view, everything is pretty simple. So you have something to scan, something to validate, and something to process on the end. But from technological point of view, it's not so simple. So scanning part is including not just scanning, but pre-processing, recognition, separation, identification, and indexing. Validation is a very important part in the process, and after digitization we need to validate the data we extracted. So we can do it manually via application, or we can implement automation, some kind of artificial intelligent algorithms to do it automatically. And at the end, we have processing. We need to create document in many formats. Usually it's PDF archive, PDF-A for archiving, and we need to compress it because it will end on the data storage, digital archive, and it needs to occupy its smallest amount of
yes. For the archiving, actually, Canon has its own technology. The PDFs that our technology is able to create are actually more 750 times more than a usual PDF. So we can shrink the amount of storage that is needed for your archiving systems or for your storage systems 750 times less need than the usual PDF amount of size.
And we need to export all the documents to somewhere. So we need to integrate it with core application system at our customer sites on different ways, via connectors, via web services, via custom development, etc. So what percentage of automation do we need? It will it is also, if we get higher with automation, we need to, of course, have more budget and more sophisticated solution. So we need to choose our solution very, very carefully, so we can answer all the needs, optimize the needs of our customers that we feel. So just a quick overview of CANON information management portfolio for this year. So Scan2X is a very good solution for banking and education. It's kiosk-made application, very simple to use, consistent user interface, and then we have Iris Power Scan and Iris Extract for documents, and of course there is therefore for document management. Very quickly, Scan2X, simple solution, same experience on different devices. So on Canon MFP devices, scan front scanners, mobile devices, it's all consistent user experience, and actually you just pick document digitization application you need, and that's it. You scan it and you are done. So it's especially good for ad hoc scanning. You get a few papers, invoices, click it, and you are done. From Iris, we have two major applications. Iris is especially good for document classification, document recognition, extraction of information from scanned documents, and for file creation and manipulation. So the first application is PowerScan. So what is especially good with this application, you can have multi-stream input and multi-stream output. What does it mean? You can have scan for scanning and from scanners, and you can have, let's say, watch folders for, let's say, electronic invoices or from cloud at the same project. So you can skip. Now I will do a little bit of scanning, and on the same project, on the same design, I can input also all the data from watched programs. iris extract for document is most advanced solution for document digitization. And of course there is therefore. Therefore we see as a single platform for ACM, DMS and business process optimization, and we use it for all these functions, but most valuable is of course business processes automatization. So this was very short PowerPoint presentation. I would like to demonstrate very quickly few of application I was just talking about. So, okay. Yeah. So we're good. So I will begin with iris power scan because it is the first step in our process. So we need to scan and digitize our paper documents. This project is actually from real life. We did it for a customer in Croatia. They needed to digitize the invoices, but they did not need to have invoice lines in their experience. So perfect solution for that is iris power scan. Let's have a quick look how it does in production. So as you see, it is now capturing documents from folder, and it automatically recognizes where is the beginning and where is the end of the document, and it automatically extracts all this data from this document. So some invoices, as you can see, can have 1 page, some can have 5, 6 pages, and what was challenged in this complete project is that we needed to get totals amounts. It's not a problem when you have 1 page invoice, but when you have 10-page invoice, variable page when you need to extract, it is a challenge. So, yeah.
You make frameworks for invoices?
Yes, actually, I will show you right now. The way to go with iris power scan is that you make templates for all supplier invoices. So, as I mentioned, iris extract is more advanced solution. It does not use invoices, but it uses algorithms to recognize contents. And
Power scan este soluția care este menită pentru zona în care numărul de furnizori nu este atât de ridicat, pentru că atunci nu ai atât de multe template de creat pentru zona de invoicing, dacă vorbim doar de invoicing. Dacă vorbim de extract, în spate există un algoritm care are un engine de servlări și este capabil să identifice în funcție de anumite criterii furnizorul de la care vine factura și zona și tipul în care trebuie să o clasifice și de unde ar trebui să regăsească datele care avem nevoie în departe.
so yes, as you see, we developed all these templates for all different suppliers for these clients, and we needed to define how to recognize all these templates. And that means that someone inside the company must know the system, or and he needs to make some changes, add a new template maybe when you get a new supplier, etc. So when we are done with scanning, we need to process this document. This complete project was made to export all these documents to file folder location. I will show it. So we have one file with all the indexes, and we have documents folder with all the scanned invoices. It is in PDF, PDF-A, it is highly compressed, and it is ready to go to the digital archive. So I will now open therefore client application. It's therefore navigator, and I created this category for this presentation, invoices, where I can search all the invoices according to this index field, which are exactly index fields in PowerScan, and quickly search through my invoices.
Practic, search-ul nu se face pe baza unui singur index. Dacă știi informații de unul dintre facturi, index pe care am declarat înainte, putem să găsim acea factură sau pe care avem nevoie de discuție de orice informație pe care numele client, numele furnizor, dată, valoare sau oricare dintre informațiile care ne sunt cunoscute.
Dar nu extrage și date.
Absolut. Deci poate să...
Da.
Putem avea partea de regăsire după poza clar există, pentru că este documentul salvat în format PDF-A, dar putem să găsim sau să regăsim un document pe baza unor index pe care cunoaștem, dar să scoatem și toate informațiile pe care le avem pe factura respectivă sau pe documentul respectiv și să le punem într-o altă bază de date care să o ducem mai departe pentru un alt sistem de lucru. The format of the result. It's XML, it's
I will show you.
or whatever else we trebuie să injectăm și direct în baza de date de aceste nevoie.
Actually, what I was mentioning at the beginning of the presentation, you can have with PowerScan. This is especially valuable from my point of view. You can have multiple outputs. So when I create a batch and I process it, it will go to, in this case, to index export and to PDF export. But I could have 10. And what are the possibilities out of box? I could have PDF, regular PDF, compressed, highly compressed PDF, XPS. I don't know if anybody uses it anymore, but you can use it. Word. Actually, PowerScan has very good extraction and construction of open XML formats, so you can create from the picture very good Word or Excel document out of box. Rich text formats, single page TIFF, multi-page TIFF, JPEG, PNG, BMP, and indexes out of box can go in XML format, which I used for this presentation, and CSV file. So,
How about errors?
yeah.
Found.
Yes. Okay. So.
Or it's not errors.
Yes. I think I understand. So. So yes. There is no perfect solution. So if you remember, the second step was validation, which can go manually, or you can automate it, but it is never 100% correct, even with iris extract. So that's the case. So before you export your batches to therefore or any other archiving system, you really need to validate your results. You can do, let's say what this means. So as you see,
depinde foarte mult de document și de calitatea documentului la partea de input în zona de scanare.
Care e minimul?
Recomandăm 300 ca și
Quality of the scanning file.
okay, let's say that 300 DPIs is recommended. Of course, I think that for many find that 200 is really enough, but I think that 300 DPI is standard. we can say. So let's say 15 years ago everybody preferred TIFF for digitization. Nowadays everyone goes with PDFA. Yeah, it's a long-term standard for archiving. So regarding validation in PowerScan, you will just go through these fields. You can put some warnings here if something logically can be read or something, and you will check every one of these documents.
Zona de automatizare a procesului de validare, există posibilitatea în cazul în care un câmp nu a fost corect identificat, pentru că poți să pui algoritm de verificare. În zona de algoritm de verificare poți să spui, ok, dacă nu mi-ai identificat 5 cifre aici, te rog frumos să-mi generezi o alertă. Sau dacă mi apare cumva o literă în zona asta sau un caracter pe care nu l-ai putut citi. Adică pot fi predefinite în zona de automat de validare. La zona manuală este clar. Dacă ai văzut că nu ai câmpurile completate, clar trebuie să verifici. Dar la partea de automatizare poți să mergi un pic mai departe decât că avea doar automatizare bazată pe inteligența artificială. Ai și o zonă în care anunțul utilizatorului vezi că aici cred că nu este ceva în regulă.
Dar o zonă de concluzie, 6, 8 sau 9.
Pe măsură ce numărul de documente procesate crește, acuratețea sistemului crește. În spate există, bine, aici vorbim de extract de soluția mare, acuratețea de recunoaștere a caracterelor care pot genera confuzie crește și ea.
Dar poate fi ceva de genul. De unde poate fi sigur că dacă scrie 8 acolo, e 8 și nu 6 sau nu?
Aici putem să avem un pas mandatory de validare, pentru că știm că documentele acelea sunt critice și informațiile de pe ele trebuie să fie absolut validate, sigur de acuratețea lor. Putem, după partea de automatizare, să mai putem încă un pas de validare în flux. Adică putem oarecum să ne împărțim documentele pe care le procesăm în documente critice, care trebuie să treacă prin, hai să zicem, for I principle verification, că trece odată prin zona de validare automată. Putem merge la un utilizator care, ăsta e jobul lui, să verifice acuratețea informațiilor, și pentru cele mai puțin critice se poate duce automat prin fluxul de validare. Nu există o tehnologie bulletproof.
De exemplu, acolo poate identifica zona unde se află valoare fără TVA, TVA și se va crea legal cu valoare totală, care e valoare totală. Asta este o cheie.
Poți să pui o cheie logică între mai multe filmuri și să spui, ok, dacă rezultatul ăsta este același cu de aici, avem o validare.
Asta ar fi, pentru că asta așa e o cheie de verificare.
Inteligența de validare poate fi în funcție de nevoile noastre. Nu vorbim doar de fapte.
Da.
La contracte, spre exemplu, putem să spunem cauți valorile item-urilor și la sfârșit trebuie să-ți dea total. Ei din prima pagină, de exemplu, totalul pe fiecare item, la sfârșit îți dai totalul contractului, dacă se măciuiește, contractul a fost procesat corect.
La măsura în care nu valori.
Da. Și aici este o discuție, pentru că dacă vorbim de zone în care putem să punem inteligență de recunoaștere a itemelor, putem să mergem nu ținem neapărat cont de numărul de pagini. Dacă avem un mod identificator în care să zicem că aici nu se termină contractul, aici începe următorul, putem să ne jucăm să trecem informațiile cam de pe unde din contractul respectiv.
So let's get back to therefore. So I have a set of invoices that I scan, therefore. What is I find especially useful that when you have financial documents in therefore and you select a range, you will get some total amount and total from these selected invoices. And you can very easily copy hit list. This is called hit list. Not just for invoices, but for every kind of category you are archiving in the system. And let's say for some quick analysis, paste it in, let's say, Excel, send it somewhere to analysis or something like that. Therefore, it's actually not one application, but it is a suite of application. I want to compare it with Microsoft Office, so you have Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Here, from the user point of sight, you have therefore Navigator. When you find document that you need, you will open it in therefore Viewer, which is second most important user application, where you can have view of your document. You can see what version it has, when it is created. You can annotate it, digitally sign it, and in this case, this is just one document. It is maybe hard to communicate, but from a therefore point of view, this is one case. So it is especially important, let's say, for some legal cases, documentation or architectural design, that actually all the documentation which are consistent in one project can be fitted in this one instance. So what this means that I can, from therefore viewer, I can scan something quickly to this complete document. I can add some files digitally. I need, of course, to check it out, and let's say I want to add something new. And over time, I can continue doing that like a live case, live subject that is developing over the time. What is important to understand is that when I made some changes, I need to check in, and automatically, therefore, will create second version of this document. It will also record who is the user which made changes, make some comment about it, and you can always refer to the first version. From their point of view, the first security of documentation is very important, and it tracks all the document version over its lifespan.
Gândiți-vă la contractele de clienți.
There is no limit. Yes, and actually, when you double click the version you need, it will open in that state. So from the viewer perspective, you can also change some indexes from here. If you find over the time that something is maybe not correct, you can just change it and save it here. So you can make index processes right from the viewer application. Also, I would like to show you this process. So from the client point of view, therefore can have Windows clients, which is this application, Navigator. The same functionality is over the web, so I can connect and have the same functionality with any browser, modern browser. And actually, I can have some modification. Let's say this category, which is represented in my browser, but actually it is this category, so you can see. And I can create input documents right through Windows application, and I can publish it on my website and let the whole world to put documents directly to my digital archive. What is good about this therefore solution that it only uses one user license for the whole, let's say, internet users which are approaching your website. So let's try it. I can So this is a star, and that means that this is a new document in my system. The same procedure can be used by your internal staff. So the real users of the system can do the same thing via therefore navigator, creating a document on the same procedure. But if you see a document in the viewer, for the internet user, it will always be that one user that you are using for the internet access, and that means web form user, as you see it here. So every document that comes from the internet will be marked that it came from this one user. But for the most cases, it is not so important. So you can solve, let's say, if you have a large company with a lot of employees, this is ideal solution to implement, let's say, holiday request or some similar request to management, because, and this is our next subject, whenever some documents is placed in category, we can automatically activate workflow. And every document in that case will go to the same machine. It will need to go through all the workflow steps that you defined in your design. And you can implement it in a way that it must be done in some time frame. So if you have, let's say, invoices, your target is to achieve that all invoices must be processed, let's say, in 5 days. So if not, it will escalate the problem to the manager for every instance that is behind the schedule. So how do we do this? Let's go to therefore solution designer. I think that it is also rare in this kind of systems that therefore and CANON deliver with this solution all the tools that you need to customize it to every part and bit to the bone, let's say. So everything I can do with the system, customer and client can do if he wants to learn it. So this is a solution designer application, and you can actually create and administer system through this application. So in therefore terminology, we have repositories, and here we design repository for every kind of type of document we want to see in our digital archive. So in this case, I design this repository, and I can make some changes. Let's say if I want to add some status to this document, I will just add another field. When I save it, it is published to all users in the system. So I will go back quickly. So I have a new index field, and if I fill it with each document, I can use it for searching and whatever purpose I need. Let's quickly go back to the, I think that workflow are the next big topic, therefore. So workflows are always binded to categories. So I will always bind every workflow to some document category which needs to be processed by that workflow. It has some scripting. You can do some programming, but it's really not easy. It's all drag and drop. You draw your workflow, you make some conditions, and that's it. it is very easy to change something, to add something, to develop your workflow as your work organization evolve. So I think it's very practical. And
Ideea este că therefore nu limitează dezvoltările ulterioare instalării. Nu, în momentul în care aveți soluția instalată, aveți acces la toate funcționalitățile ei și puteți să realizați oricât de multe workflow-uri, oricât de multe categorii, oricât de multe singura limitare este puterea de procesare din spate, adică serverul pe care stă și storage. În rest, aplicația nu vă limitează. Nu destinații, nu vă limitează număr de workflow, nu vă limitează tipul de workflow.
so just quick example, let's say contract management. We can have very simple workflow for contract management. In this case, every workflow has start and at the end. And in this case, when new contract sits into contracts category, workflow would start and it would wait 30 days before the contract is ended. When we are there, it will trigger manual tasks to some dedicated person, which are there then warned that, hey, this contract will expire in 30 days, please do something. And what he will do, he will review it manually in this case, and make transition that it is continued or that it is not continued. So just those statuses will be marked on those. So this is very, very simple generic contract management. Just to compare, this is real case contract management workflow, where, as you can see, there are some complicated queries and triggers which decides where do we want to go in workflow. So, for example, when we go to this transition, we can set some parameters which will decide on the state of document indexes that it should go exactly this way, or this complete transition, or it could have an else part, which means if none of these two are satisfied, it will use this path. So there are some clever ways how to design our workflow. We can also advancedly manage and use all the index fields we are painstakingly extracted from our documents, and which we can then use in this kind of logic. So, any questions? Yeah? Please. A little bit about infrastructure. So all this power stand, therefore application is done on my client laptop, so it's client applications. I will now connect to the server. This is actually the server, it's on my machine. And for communication, it uses web services. What it means? It means that my server can be in Zagreb, and I can connect via my Windows application here and use it as if I'm in the office, but I need only internet access. So it's web services communication between clients, all the clients. It is especially useful if you have many subscribers, let's say, or workforce on the field, home offices, etc. So we have many clients, as I said, for therefore. There are out-of-box clients like Navigator, mobile, iOS or Android mobile application clients, tablet client application, web client. This is all out of the box. but also you can develop your own client. So therefore server has published API, and you can actually develop your own application, which basically could be possible, could do everything that out-of-box original application can do. All this information is available publicly online. So on therefore.net, that's a website of therefore, but I don't know the name. Let's okay.
Aspectul de certificare, sau cum să zic, eu fac o copie 10 curată, vreau să știu că e valabil, ceva gen însoțită cu semnătură digitală.
Se poate face semnătură digitală automat din aplicație.
Da, sau care să ofere, eu știu,
semnătura digitală. Bine, putem să facem, hai să le spunem ștampile. Pentru un tip de document avem confirmare de primire, am pus, automat apare versiunea cu ștampila pusă pe document, cu istoria documentului respectiv. Deci la fiecare anotare asupra documentului putem să dăm fie semnătură digitală, fie pe ștampilă, fie putem să scriem manual un mesaj pe versiunea respectivă. Care acea versiune va fi registrată și uploadată în repozitorii pe...
un sistem ăsta de omologare.
Fără nicio problemă.
So regarding documentation, therefore website therefore.net and /help, you can have publish all new help documentation and technical documentation about different connectors and SDK documentation. In this case, you can see everything you need how to develop your own client application. We are close with our time. I would just like to say that there are some really nice marketing materials which Robert can share with you. Like CANON Digital Mailroom, which implement all the softwares that I was talking about, and digital HR digitization. So how we can use therefore for our HR department, from the onboarding of our employees to lifespan they spend in the company, and then offboarding from the company.
Soluțiile astea au apărut din nevoia noastră internă de a avea procesele automatizate. Au fost dezvoltate pe partea din cele de terminal și la nivel de CEO.
So we had really not a lot of time to present this kind of solutions. So I suppose I can speak about that for 4 days and not exhaust all the subjects. So yes, thank you very much. I hope you